This is Jeremy Epperson with GetBetterAtPublicSpeaking.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about mastering the pause. Almost every speaker is afraid of the pause, that little tiny bit of silence. See, what's interesting is that pausing is one of the most powerful techniques that you can use in public speaking, but most people don't want to go anywhere near it. It makes them completely uncomfortable to pause even for the shortest amount of time. But if you're willing to work through that uncomfortableness, then you can use this amazing technique to improve your public speaking. Now, like I said, you're going to feel uncomfortable pausing. I just paused for a couple seconds. This is something I'm used to, and when you start using this technique, when you start implementing it, you're going to feel very uncomfortable. You're going to think that a 2 or 3 second pause is going to feel like an eternity, but it's not. And the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. Another thing to note is that your audience is also going to feel that uncomfortableness. But this is actually a good thing, because when your audience feels uncomfortable, when they see you take one of those long 2 or 3 second pauses, in the back of their mind, they're going to be thinking, uh-oh, did he make a mistake? And they're waiting for that train wreck, and that draws them into your reality. It gets them to sit forward, lean forward, and get up on the edge of their seat and wait for that next word to come out of your mouth. And being able to grab that attention and hold that attention with pausing is what gives you the power when you're speaking to really connect with your audience. So what are some ways that you can use pausing? The first and one of the most important ways is to pause before you open. When you walk up on stage or when you get in front of a group of people, it's very important both for your nerves as a presenter and for the audience to take a long pause. I'd say give it 2 or 3 seconds. Scan the room. Let yourself feel comfortable, absorb what's happening with the audience, and also give the audience the time to stop shuffling paperwork and actually pay attention to what you're doing. This long dramatic pause will allow you to do that. The second factor is to use pauses for dramatic effect. If you have a really profound thought, if you have a really excellent point, it's great to give that long pause afterwards. That allows the audience to digest what you're saying to them. It gives them time to think about how they feel about what you just said. It gives them time to have an emotional reaction to what you've just said. Another point is if you ask a question, you must pause. If you ask a question and you just run right through and you're talking a million miles per hour and you don't give the audience time to think about what you're actually saying, they are not going to follow what you're actually saying. So if you ask a question, especially if you open with a question, give the audience a couple seconds to actually think about what you're saying. Give them time to think about how that relates to their life or what they think about the material. Another factor is to pause instead of using fillers. A lot of times we get nervous when we're speaking. So what do? We try to completely smash out all that space, that void, that silence. The best thing you can do to prevent from using filler words and distracting things that take away from your message is to use a pause. Give yourself a second to think about what you're going to say next. As I just stated earlier, this pause is going to be dramatic. It's going to draw your audience in. It's actually a good thing to do. So take your time. It's not a race. You're not in a hurry. The audience isn't going anywhere. They want to hear what you have to say. So give them the time to hear it properly and use those pauses instead of filler words. Use these tips that I just gave you and you will get better at public speaking, I guarantee it. This is Jeremy Epperson with GetBetterAtPublicSpeaking.com.